Every day we carry a weight that was never ours to hold, a weight that drags behind every step we take. It's invisible, yet crushing it. The fear of what others think. You feel it when you hesitate before speaking your truth. You feel it when you dress not for yourself, but for their approval. You feel it when their whispers become louder than your own voice, and slowly, piece by piece, you disappear, not because you lack courage, but because you've given fragments of yourself away to opinions. But what if I told you that the ancient Stoics knew this battle intimately? That 2,000 years ago they too struggled with the eyes of others watching, judging, silently trying to define who they should be. And what if I told you that there are 7 Stoic rules that can break these chains forever? Rule 1. What they think is not who you are. You are not their words. You are not their gossip. You are not their fleeting judgments. The Stoics believed that opinions are projections, a person's own inner battles. When someone mocks you, it reveals more about their pain than your worth. When they belittle you, it's their weakness, not yours, that is. Screaming Epictetus said, "If anyone speaks ill of you, do not make excuses, but say, 'He was ignorant of the other faults I have, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" Imagine hearing insults, and instead of defending yourself, you smile because you know who you are, because you understand that their opinion has no power. Unless you hand it to them, this is not arrogance, it's freedom. Rule 2. You cannot control their thoughts, only your own. Every time you adjust yourself to be liked, every time you betray your soul for approval, you are fighting a battle that was never winnable, the Stoics remind us. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Their thoughts, not your responsibility. Their approval, not your purpose. You have been wasting your life rewriting a script in a play you don't direct, can only master one mind, your own. And when you focus on this inner mastery, their opinions become background noise, faint, harmless. Rule 3. Opinions fade, character remains. Think of this, the people whose approval you're desperately seeking, will they remember your choices a year from now, 5 years, a lifetime? Stoics lived with the understanding of impermanence. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, wrote, "People who are remembered, what's left of them, barely even a name. What lasts beyond the fleeting judgment of today is your character. Your integrity, the quiet strength of a life lived authentically. Their opinions will die with them, but who you are, that is eternal every time." Your Rule 4. The pain of criticism is a teacher, not a curse. It hurts, doesn't it, when they laugh, when they point out your flaws? When they reduce your life, your story, into a cheap joke? It cuts deep, but the Stoics never taught us to run from pain. They taught us to face it, to hold it in our hands, and ask, what is this pain teaching me? Seneca, a man who was exiled and shamed, once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." You see, when someone criticizes you, the pain you feel isn't from their words. It's from your belief that their words define you, that somehow their judgment is truth. But it isn't. Their criticism is an opportunity, an invitation to either correct yourself if they're right, or strengthen your resolve if they're wrong. Pain becomes power when you use it as a mirror, not a cage. Rule 5. Approval is addictive. Detox from it. Let's be honest. Being liked feels good. The applause, the nods, the smiles, it gives you a rush of fleeting high. But like any drug, the more you crave it, the weaker you become. You become dependent, needing their validation to feel alive. The Stoics knew this. Epictetus warned, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Think about that. Be willing to look like a fool. Be ready to be misunderstood, because the price of true self-respect is the willingness to let others misunderstand you. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to breathe differently. You no longer suffocate under the weight of performance. You start living, not acting. The detox is brutal. You will feel isolated, naked. But it's in this rawness that you find the deepest peace. Rule 6. You're born free. Don't live as a slave to opinion. Every human is born free, but along the way, we become prisoners. Not to kings or chains, but to the invisible prisons of what will they think. Lock yourself in cells built by others' expectations. You shrink yourself to fit into their boxes. But Epictetus, Man who was once a literal slave taught no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom is not granted by society, it is seized by the soul. Imagine. The moment you stop asking for permission to be yourself, the chains fall, the cell door swings open, and you realize the prison was never locked. Two were always free, you just had to walk out Rule 7. Live for the audience of one your conscience. The world is loud. Everyone has an opinion about your life, your looks, your choices, your dreams, but amidst that noise there is a softer voice. It's quiet, but it's true. It's your conscience. The Stoics believed that the only audience that matters is the one within. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one live for that inner audience, the one that watches when no one else does, the one that doesn't care about trends or applause, but cares deeply about your truth." When you align your life with your values, when your actions mirror your principles, the opinions of the world become whispers, distant, powerless, because you are no longer performing, you are being. The moment you let go, the day you become untouchable. Close your eyes. Imagine this: you walk into a room. The same room that once made your heart race, the same faces that once made you shrink. But today is different today. Their opinions are like raindrops on a stone. They fall, but they don't sink in. They make no mark, because today you're not there to be liked, you're not there to impress, you're there to live your truth. For the first time you feel weightless. The heavy cloak of needing their approval slips off your shoulders. You breathe. They smile, not because they smiled back, but because you no longer need them to. This is the freedom the Stoics spoke of, the irony of approval. Here's the beautiful irony. The moment you stop caring what they think is the moment they begin to respect you, not because you chased their approval, but because you stood firm in who you are. People are drawn to authenticity. They sense when someone has made peace with themselves. You become untouchable, not in an arrogant way, but in a calm, unshakable presence. You become a lighthouse, standing tall in the storm, not needing the storm's approval to shine. Freedom comes with solitude, and then strength. But let's be honest, at first it's lonely when you stop adjusting to every opinion, when you choose your conscience over their claps. Some people will leave, some will whisper, but that solitude is where you meet yourself. That silence is where you hear your own voice again. In that space you build an inner fortress, a place where their judgments can't reach you, a place where your worth is not negotiated. You realize that self-respect is not loud. It doesn't scream or demand attention. It simply is the shift. You become the master the Stoics taught. That mastery of life begins with mastery of the self. When you no longer need to be liked, when your happiness is not leased to others, you reclaim your power. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop explaining your dreams. You stop editing yourself for their comfort. You simply live boldly, quietly. Truly, this is not detachment. This is not coldness. This is love. The only person you are destined to spend your entire life with. Yourself, the unshakable you, a life beyond their opinions. Imagine waking up tomorrow and not flinching at a single thought of what will they think. You'd get out of bed, you dress for yourself. You speak without rehearsing their reactions in your mind. You chase dreams, not applause. That's the life stoicism. Promises not a life without pain, but a life where pain no longer chains. You are enough. Without their applause, you don't need their likes. Ernie the Stoics would look at you and say, stop borrowing happiness from their approval. Build it yourself quietly, relentlessly. Every moment you choose to stand in your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's lonely, you are chiseling yourself into the masterpiece you were born to. Baity opinions will never stop, but you will rise above them. Let's be clear, they will still talk, they will still judge, but it won't touch you because you'll have built something far stronger than their words. Self-respect, self-command, inner peace. You will walk into rooms that once intimidated you and carry your own, whether calm, unbothered, untouchable. The Stoic's secret: you have always been free. There is a quiet revolution that happens the day you stop caring what people think. It's not loud, it's not rebellious, it's not a dramatic speech or defiant act. It's a small, almost imperceptible shift where you finally realize you've been free all along. The only prison was in your mind. You can choose right now to drop the chains, to silence the noise, to live. Closing message: The audience of one from this day forward, live for the audience of one, the quiet, steady voice within you, the voice that knows who. You are the voice that's been drowned out by opinions for far too long. Let them talk, let them judge you. You're too busy becoming, because Stoicism isn't about ignoring people. It's about rising so far above their opinions that you walk untouched through the storm. You are not their approval. You are not their rejection. You're the master of yourself. And that, my friend, is real freedom.